Straight Trade Pact stepped up their action today. Organisers said the number of participants totaled 500,000, while the police put the figure at 116,000. It was a black sea of protesters outside the presidential palace in Taipei this afternoon. The demonstrators demanded that a service trade deal with the mainland be scrapped and a mechanism to monitor all cross-strait deals be put in place. The protesters stretched from Ketagalan Boulevard all the way down to the Legislative Yuan a few blocks away. The black shirts were dotted with bright yellow flowers in line with the so-called sunflower movement. A farmer from the southern city of Kaohsiung had sent over 20,000 sunflowers in support of the protest. Many of the participants today insisted on having a peaceful, rational rally. The student says the protesters want their voices heard and taken seriously, so he hopes no one will do anything brash to discredit them. A week ago, thousands of protesters stormed the Executive Yuan and police used force to clear them from the cabinet offices, leading to many injuries on both civilian and police sides. Leader of the protest movement, Lin Feifan, tried to make sure that won't be repeated today. This movement bans all forms of violence, he told the crowd. He asked the participants to follow the instructions of the organisers, saying if they don't agree with them, they should go away to do their own thing. He gave a stern reminder that everyone has to bear the consequences of his or her own actions. The authorities have given their permission for the rally to go on until midnight, even though the organisers asked the protesters to disperse at 7 p.m. and return to the legislative building, which has been occupied by student protesters since March 18th. Security was heavy at the presidential palace all day. Reports say 6,000 police officers have been deployed with water cannons on standby just in case. There are reports that the authorities are prepared to remove the protesters from the scene should they refuse to leave by midnight. Meanwhile, a few hundred people gathered at the nearby Taipei main station to show support for the government and the bill. Donning white to show their opposite stance, the ralliers tried to march to the cabinet offices. But there was a tense moment when the rival groups crossed paths. Supporters of the government eventually returned to the station, where they urged students to end the occupation and allow lawmakers to go about their business. There was a rally in Hong Kong today in support of the student demonstrations in Taiwan. It was organised by Taiwanese students studying here. Protesters dressed in black and carrying sunflowers marched from Causeway Bay to Chater Garden. They also voiced opposition to a crackdown by Taiwanese authorities on demonstrators who stormed the Executive Yuan last Sunday. Demonstrators then held a rally at Chater Garden. Organisers said 1,000 people participated in the march, while police put the figure at 800 at its peak. And 550 people took part in the rally at Chater Garden.
A resupply mission by the Philippines in the South China Sea has worsened a territorial dispute between